the more we do, the more people can see it.
To combine the animal world and filmmaking, yeah, it would be an ultimate dream at the end of the day.
And nobody really prints anymore. But when you walk into someone's house and you see this amazing picture up on the wall.
What's left on the cave wall is how we remember our history. It's how we depict what happened. It's the vases that were left over. It's the mosaics that we find. That's how we know what was in fashion. That's how we know what the materials they were using to paint, to sculpt.
Jazz and modern were my happy places. They're the place that my body felt most at home.
I've transformed wanting to do an interesting painting to now capturing emotion and telling a story.
The reality that I'm not as fast as I want to be. I spent easily 240 hours trying to do some animation, and even that much time was nowhere near enough.
My name is Lisa Bennett, and I started a company with my husband Darren, where I'm a photographer and he's the videographer, and we try to work together as much as possible, but we also just do our own thing. I think I was 8. We were on a family trip to, I think it was Jasper or Banff. We went with my grandparents and my uncle, and my brother wanted to be a photographer for Equinox magazine, and he went around taking photos of like mountain goats and mountains and things like that, and I thought that was lame. So I decided that it would be also amazing to do photography, but in more of a imaginative way, where I would be able to build the sets and not just take a photo of a nice landscape, but actually build something and make it reflect the person that was in the photo. I've done headshots, which I really like, but again, more portraiture. I do boudoir. But yeah, I really like photographing like kids and like families. Oh, like everything. My primary camera is a Sony AR3 and I love it. I usually use Sony lenses just because it has impeccable focus on it, where if you touch the shutter once, it'll zoom in and you can get it just so perfect, and I really love that. But I really like primes, but I really do like the old vintage glass. It's really nice. It has not really imperfections, but it has just a little, everyone's kind of different. Some of them have one where it's an old Pentax lens, and it was my mom's, and I absolutely love it. She took it to a waterfall when we were a lot younger, and it got moisture in it. And she didn't use it again for like 10 years after that, and I just kind of stole all of her stuff when I really got into photography. And everywhere it had water droplets, it caused rust, and the rust eroded a little bit around the outside, and it just has this just around the outside that's kind of discolored, and it's got a little bit of a warp to it, and it adds a really nice effect. You wouldn't use it for everything, but for odd random little shots, it's amazing. There's a lot of planning. I like to make my photo shoots really based around the people that I'm filming. I'm not just going to get a beautiful dress and put it on someone and take their photo. I would like it to have meaning, have the clothes be, I don't know, handed down from the grandmother, or have family artwork in the photos if the family is an artist, to have to shoot in their old farmhouse that the kids grew up in, whatever it is, but to build it specifically around those people so that they can have, when they look at them, it's not just someone in a pretty dress or someone posed in a really nice way. It has antiques and pieces of the people that are in them. Well, it was part of a citywide project with a bunch of other photographers where it's called the Traveling Dress Shoot, and we all took a week and a half with that red dress, and we had to come up with a concept to show it off. And when we were done, we traded with another photographer, and the show went up in, I think, November in 2020. I shot that in February 2020, and I had an entire shoot all planned, and then the last minute my model canceled, and I had one day to plan and get everything ready. And it's called Land Errancy, and the girl with the octopus tattoo on her leg responded to my model call, and I planned to shoot off her tattoo, and then I found other girls that had certain tattoos, and the other one has a fox on it, and yeah, it kind of all just came together, and it was so much fun. And the girl in the middle did all of the makeup, and it was a really fun experience. Playing around in different situations is what helps you find your style. If somebody throws you into a concert hall and they're like, you're gonna film these musicians on stage. What if you don't have lights? What if you don't have a flash? What if you don't have any of that? You're gonna have to make stuff up. And I think being pushed into that when you're not being paid, because you would never want to show up unprepared for a client, but if you're just there and someone's like, hey, can you grab some shots, and you have to try and wing it, absolutely, do whatever you have to do. Grab your cell phone and try and shine some light on that, get someone to turn on a backlight, do something. But I think that's where people kind of discover what they're made of and what they can do when the pressure's on and you're like, how can I make this work? It gets your creative juices flowing, and it makes you realize what you really like about photography, because nothing ever goes according to plan. So there's always going to be something thrown at you during a shoot that you're like, okay, we have to change some stuff. Maybe it's pouring rain all of a sudden and you need to move locations and everything that you've planned is out, or you reschedule. But I mean, before rescheduling, try something. Maybe it'll be amazing. I would say the difference between an amateur and a professional would be someone that can guarantee their work. If someone's paying you, they are trusting you with a big life experience, and if you screw it up, that's not gonna look good on you, and you're not gonna get good reviews, and word is going to get around. I wouldn't say gear makes the photographer, because you can, if you're a really good photographer, you can go out with like a disposable camera and take an amazing photo if you know, like if you can get the right perspective, if you can get the right lighting, if you know, like if you know your stuff, you can work on pretty much anything. It might not be like award winning, but you could use pretty much whatever you have to take an amazing photo. Learn your gear, for sure. You'll avoid a lot of awkward situations and embarrassment, stumbling around, not knowing things. Learn how to light properly, but then once you have the skills and you've learned how to use your camera and you can light properly and all of that stuff, there is a lot of the artistic can like flow over top of that, and you can change the lighting to add extra impact. You can overexpose or underexpose a little bit to make your images stand out and make them your own and unique, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely both, I would say. But I would say most of all, hang out with other photographers. Like, get to know people, go out, use your cameras in manual, learn how to do the things that you want to do, but learn from other people, because it can be kind of a lonely job where it's just you with a bunch of random people at different times. I mean, it gets less lonely when you learn your clients and you have repeat clients and you get to work with them a lot, but you're out on your own a lot, location scouting, editing photos on your couch in your pajamas, like. And nobody really prints anymore. And it's sad. Like, to be honest, I also haven't done it. Like, we got married like forever ago, and we have one photo because we haven't printed ours, and it's so sad, and there's always an excuse for it. But when you walk into someone's house and you see this amazing picture up on the wall, you see it, people that come over see it, they love it, and there's just so many excuses not to print it, but it just kind of wastes away in a computer. Yeah, like I've started recently doing, like actually offering albums with all of my packages so that people get to leave with something, where it's not, here's a USB or like here's a digital download, where they still get those so they could make them their profile pictures and share them with family like across the country or whatever, but actually getting to leave with something that they can show people is priceless.